I'm the type of gamer that likes to play the game and watch the cutscenes, but not really read any files, or notes, or really look up any lore for that matter. So I had the brilliant idea to talk about the game's story from yours truly, from my point of view, because I pretty much have all the qualifications, am I right? I mean, I got the game, I beat it multiple times, and I have a YouTube channel. So here I am bringing you Resident Evil 3 Explained. We start the game with some real life video scenes, which I actually really like. I think it looks kind of cool, but then I kind of noticed that it kind of looks like they took some clips from the LA riots. I no joke threw some clips in of the LA riots just to see if you guys could spot the differences of what's going on. It should be painfully obvious now that I mention it, but I just had to throw it in here because they do look eerily similar. We get to a guy talking about how great a morals Umbrella has. And if you don't know who Umbrella is, it's a pharmaceutical company that actually created the T-virus that turns people into zombies. So you know, their morals are probably outstanding. Then we see some people that I hope are doctors. I don't actually know if they are or not. They're just some people in hazmat suits. But they are injecting a buff daddy with some type of liquid, and then the title card. We finally gain control of our main protagonist, Jill Valentine, who is having a crazy dream where she is turning into a zombie.
Do you remember me? I'm your best nightmare. I'm your worst nightmare.
Which the fact that she could even sleep when there's a literal zombie outbreak in her city is kind of weird to me. We wake up, turn on the lights, and go look at ourselves in the mirror for our morning pep talk.
Oh yeah, I'm fixins' to fuck you.
Side note here, but Jill Valentine actually really pulls off this short hair look, and I just gotta give her some respect for that. The phone starts ringing and someone named Brad is telling us to leave our apartment, and then our wall somehow just explodes and in walks Nemesis.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh no!
Oh no.
Oh yeah!
We escape the Nemesis probably because he didn't have a father figure to help teach him how to throw.
I never had a dad to play catch with me.
Well, it shows, because that was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
I kind of take a minute to see if this guy's gonna fall, and he actually does, which kind of made me laugh because I'm a sadistic fuck.
Oh my god! Oh jeez! Oh my god!
Big Daddy Nemesis breaks through the goddamn roof, and I actually really like the slow motion on this part. I'm still not too sure how Jill is dodging punches, but we eventually escape Nemesis again until he slams through the fucking wall again like...
Boom, baby!
But in all seriousness, if he wanted to kill us, all he had to do was squeeze a little bit tighter and it would have been the shortest game in Resident Evil history, potentially in gaming history, period. But instead we get this scary ass camera angle, and I feel like Jill should be like screaming for help. I would have been all like... But Jill is one tough cookie, so we actually escape Nemesis this time. We run into Brad, who's the guy who actually called us on the phone telling us to get out of our apartment, and we chit chat with him a little bit until he just kind of like ignores this flimsy little fence and all these zombies on the other end. So we actually get overran by them and we run into the nearby bar. Brad's bright ass idea is to throw a display sign at them, and the pathetic thing is that he didn't even hit the zombie in the front. He kind of hit the zombie in the middle, and I'm like, Brad, you didn't even take care of the threat that's closest to you. Like, the fuck, you didn't even stop that one. You might have well have just pulled a Shaun of the Dead. And then surprise, surprise, dumbass Brad gets bit, probably from that first zombie that he didn't stop. We leave Brad to die and we grab our first gun, and then while we're enjoying the beautiful alleyways of Raccoon City, a helicopter yells at us to get to the garage roof so they can evacuate us. On the way to the roof, we run into another genius that refuses to go with us to the helicopter, you know, to get evacuated, and thinks that we're just trying to steal his container of a safe house.
Now I'm starting to get angry, so I pull out my gun. I'm gonna give you count to 3 to open this closet door. 1, I'm gonna shoot you both. 2, I'm gonna cap some bitch free. Now I'm in the closet.
We leave him, sidestep a zombie like,
Where the fuck is he going?
and make it to the roof just in time to see a helicopter get shot down by a rocket. We see Nemesis walking towards us like fucking Michael Myers. We decide to run him over with the car, but he straight up catches the car and death grips us again. So we floor it and drive right off the parking garage roof. Not sure how we survived it, but we do, and instead of exploding on impact like...
What happened? I don't know, it just didn't.
explode. That's weird.
The car conveniently waits for us to get out of it before it explodes.
That's what exploded?
And if you think Nemesis couldn't look any more badass, we actually set him on fire, so now he looks even more cool.
No cap. All I'm seeing is flames.
Just when we were about to become Nemesis food, a guy named Carlos shoots Nemesis with a rocket launcher and we escape with Carlos. We learn that Carlos actually works for Umbrella, and just like Leon in Resident Evil 4, Jill is all like,
Ooh, I hate the Mongolians.
we run into Carlos's captain, Mikhail, who actually knows who we are, but we don't really know who he is, so it kind of feels like,
And I love you, random citizen.
Mikhail says that he's lost a lot of men and that they actually have some survivors, but him and his team need some help. Jill agrees to help, so Carlos gives us a walkie and we head out to ground level. We aren't even gone for a minute before Carlos calls us asking if we made it topside yet. Like, no bitch, we're still climbing these stairs, alright? I haven't been on a stair climber in like 6 months, give me a fucking second, okay? He tells us that we need to get the subway back online so we can transport the survivors. The only way to the substation though is through an alley that's currently on fire. So we need to find a way to put out the fire and get the substation back online. Some zombies that I actually already killed, reference the bullet holes in them, take down the fence, so now we have a new pathway to go down, and I actually almost blow up myself in the process. We find a big hose, put out the fire, and run into what looks like another member of Carlos's squad, and while we're trying to help him out, another guy comes out and just completely headshots him. Now, I can't put my finger on it, but I swear to God this guy looks like a celebrity. I'm thinking like a Michael Keaton. I don't know why, but he just kinda does. We get to the substation and get a lockpick because Jill is actually
The master of unlocking.
I'll just leave this in here for all you freaky, weird little hentai tentacle lovers out there. We use a herb to throw up whatever it is that was inside of us.
Peter, I need you to hold my ears.
We now have to turn on 4 generators while fighting through a bug's nest, and this freaking game gives us the scariest camera angle that I could think of while turning on the generators. Any moment a bug could run up on us like,
Surprise, motherfucker.
First prize, motherfucker. Hard eyes, motherfucker. Rude eyes, motherfucker. Supplies, motherfucker.
but we get all 4 generators on and turn on the power, which fries the nest, I think. So not only are we official generator turn oners, nailed it, we are also exterminators.
My God, they're everywhere.
After turning on the power, we now need to go to the traffic control system and reroute the path of the subway. On our way, Nemesis pops out like,
Oh yeah.
we deal with him for now and continue on until Nemesis literally comes out of nowhere again, landing like a fucking superhero.
Go get some.
You gonna do superhero landing? Wait for it. Woo! Superhero landing. Yeah, that's really hard on your knees. Totally impractical. They all do it.
After dealing with him again, we reroute the path of the subway and head back to Carlos. But once again, Nemesis tries stopping us by granting zombies some weird tentacle head powers. I don't really know what he does. I don't really get it, but we avoid him and make it back to Carlos. We find out Michael Keaton's name is actually Nikolai, and he is not a fan of ours since we actually have some compassion. Towards the end of the conversation, guess who shows up again? That's right, our main man Nemesis ruins the party, and Jill elects to lead Nemesis away from everyone. And let's just say that she talks more shit than I'm comfortable with, because Nemesis is the type of guy where if he punches you, then you better apologize to him. Jill doesn't even get her full sentence out before he starts mollywopping our asses.
Creepy ass stalker. You want stars? I'll give you some. Ah! No! He used my stick against me! Now he's mollywopping me!
We eventually escape and we end up in the sewer of all places, which if you played Resident Evil 1 or 2, or 4, or 5, or actually 6 too. Point being, we should be comfortable with the sewers by now. Not much happens in the sewer besides us killing these weird buff-legged fish out of water type mutant things.
Oh, kill me! Kill me!
We leave the sewers and guess who's there with a big warm greeting? Once again, could have killed us with a little bit tighter of a head squeeze, but for some reason, he just likes to throw us around and torture us. Now, I don't know how, but this guy finds a fucking flamethrower and decides to just burn everything to the ground.
Sometimes I just want to burn it down. Burn the whole school down to the ground.
We get to the top of the building just in time for Nemesis to meet us up there, and we have our first legitimate boss fight. After putting Nemesis down for now, we are back in the streets of Raccoon City, and if you played Resident Evil 2, then this area should look very familiar. We run into a guy named Kendo who Jill actually knows, and we ask him to leave, but spoiler alert, his daughter is infected and he doesn't want to leave her side, so we leave him behind kinda like Brad and we continue on. I'm starting to realize that this game has a lot of repetitive parts because once again we are in the alleyways of Raccoon City, running away from Nemesis who actually survived, but this time somebody gave this guy a fucking rocket launcher. Nemesis shoots down this head thing and I had to keep it in here because it kinda reminds me of Scary Movie. We run into Carlos, but I had to stop to look at these glorious gas prices. We escape the Nemesis again and rendezvous with Carlos's team. Carlos and another member on his team get sent to a side mission where they have to find this researcher who basically is working on antivirus serums. So they go along and go do that while we ride the subway with Mikhail and unfortunately Nikolai. It sounds like Mikhail is starting to get a little bit sus of Nikolai, then guess who shows up with their no lip having ass? Yeah, no eyelid having ass. One eye having ass looking like a Pirates of the Caribbean Davy Jones locker reject having ass. I'm on your ass. Anyways, Nikolai locks us in with Nemesis and for some reason instead of all the sick burns that I just dished out, Mikhail calls him a shitbird and then blows himself up, derailing the train in the process. We cut to Carlos and now this area should look very familiar as this is literally where the first half of Resident Evil 2 took place. We figure out how the cop from Resident Evil 2 got bit and guess who bit him? Fucking Brad.
And there's only one person to blame. Fucking Brittany.
Carlos turns Brad into SpongeBob and we take Brad's ID for locker access when we're inside of the police department. Not much happens in the police department besides me getting a train absolutely ran the fuck through me, man. Like, here's some gameplay just for proof.
How could this happen to me? I made my mistakes, got nowhere to run. The night goes on as I'm fading away. I'm sick of this life, I just wanna scream. How could this happen to me?
We talked to Dr. Bard. We talked to Dr. Bard, who's the doctor that could actually create the serum for the virus. Turns out he's stuck in the hospital. He also informs us that Umbrella has gone pollo loco and is just deciding to kill all the researchers, so he's kind of panicking. So before we head out to the hospital, we get a call from Jill about what happened on the train and Carlos panics, and then we cut back to Jill. We get above ground level and contact Carlos, and then guess who we see again?
Oh my God, help me! I don't want to die! Oh, stop, drop, and roll!
You're not on fire, Ricky Bobby.
I'm on fire!
Jill talks more shit about how Nemesis can't swim, then tells Carlos that Nikolai betrayed us, and then guess who heard the shit talking? Bro literally said who needs to swim when he got quads that could make the earth shake. After mildly inconveniencing Nemesis with some drywall, and then jumping across a 3-foot gap, we have our second boss fight with super buff daddy Nemesis. After the fight, Jill gets a tad bit careless and actually gets hit with the spike from Nemesis that infects us with the virus. And I don't know where the fuck this guy came from, but Nikolai just pops out of nowhere like the fucking coon.
Now I'm back over here.
Just get out of here before we...
I'm right here now.
He talks his shit and then he literally watches us as we convulse ourselves to sleep. Carlos finds us about half a day later and gives us a piggyback ride all the way back to the hospital. Our goal now is to find the vaccine for Jill, so while playing as Carlos, we run into a new type of enemy. We use doors to defeat said enemy, until this one realizes that the door opens both ways, to which I completely freak the fuck out and I just spray everywhere. We find Dr. Bard dead as fuck. We find a recording of Dr. Bard basically telling us how Umbrella created the virus and had Bard's team create the antivirus. Bard keeps some of the antivirus in his office while the rest is stored underground. But the board wants to destroy the antivirus. They basically don't want the world to know that they fucked up, so instead of saying sorry and apologizing, they plan on destroying all evidence of the virus.
And to all those affected, I want to say, we are deeply sorry. We're sorry.
Carlos comes to the realization that Jill was actually right about not liking Umbrella, grabs the antivirus, then injects Jill with it. So I'm not gonna lie to you guys. The entire rest of the video, I actually took an edible, and then I thought, hey, I'm super hilarious. Let's just write out the rest of the script while, I'm high. So I did that, I'm in Washington before anyone adds me, so it's legal here. Leave me alone. But yeah, so I'm gonna try to reread my entire script that I wrote while I was high then, and then hopefully I can reenact what I was thinking. So here we go. While we wait for the serum to take effect, we find out that the government is going to nuke the city in a day. Like, they really don't want people knowing how bad they fucked up. Then we have a little last stand moment where waves of zombies come at us. After that, Carlos embarks on a journey to find the cure in the underground lab. Jill wakes up to possibly the worst alarm clock ever. Like, can you imagine waking up to this?
Attention all citizens. The missile strike on Raccoon City will occur in just hours.
Like, shit, bro, I hope I have enough vacation saved up at work because today would be the day to use it. The whole city's about to get fired. We talked to Carlos's friend. I don't know his name, but he looks like the dude from Baywatch. I don't know why I get those vibes from him, but I just do. He tells us freaking Carlos went to get the serum, like, bro, the fuck. So Jill decides to go find him. On the way, the zombie grabs me and I'm like, oh no, I want to turn into a zombie again. But I elbow the zombie and stab him with my fire knife. But to my surprise, it doesn't kill him. So now I effectively made the situation worse because I had a zombie and now I have the fucking human torch on my ass and he's in flame on mode. But don't worry, we end up getting him.
Great success.
Jill gets to the entrance of the underground and she asks,
how is it no one in the hospital ever noticed all this?
For fucking real, sis. But to be fair, I never checked the basement of places I worked. It also helps that they were only one story. Oh no, what if they did have a basement and I was like the people that worked in the hospital, just completely oblivious to there being a basement? I'm literally the people that Jill is talking about. We see the vulture on the phone as if this fuckface has reception. Old no bars have an ass. Can you hear me have an ass? I forgot to pay my phone bill have an ass. Or he's just staring at us like,
He's just standing there, menacingly. Get out of there, SpongeBob!
we try to go talk to Keaton.
I just want to talk to him.
Why do you have a shotgun?
I just want to talk to him.
Dad, this is ridiculous.
I just want to talk to him. I just want to talk to him. I just want to talk to him. I just want to shoot him.
But the freaking fuses go out, so we have to go and grab 3 fuses and put them in the breaker and ride the lift up. But Keaton is gone. Carlos's friend, whose name I just learned right now in this cutscene, is Tyrell. Like fucking Tyrell. Name reminds me of Lysol have an ass. Like no Febreze have an ass. Fucking stinking it up. No Tide Pods have an ass. Like Jesus Christ, bro, what did Tyrell ever do to me? He tells us the Lord above will stop the missile strike if we could get them the vaccine before launch. So we team up for an unlikely friendship, and then oh my god, No Lips is back and he's like a fucking bus. Bro, what the fuck? His tongue-like tentacle just went through Tyrell. Now I kind of feel bad because like I just roasted him. He didn't really deserve it because I'm sure his apartment smells great. But he dies, and then we escape the Nemesis again for like the 1 millionth time. We are now in the lab and we get an override key to go places that will probably get us in trouble with security. We grab the first half of the vaccine and then the second half, and we teach these 2 test tubes the fusion dance and they turn into the almighty T-virus vaccine, or T-dub for short. But then we threw that bitch in the hyperbolic time chamber and he came out a beautiful glowing fucking god. Nemesis, the freak fuck deity that he is, licks Jill up for a quick choke session. We stab him around a little bit, he don't like that, and then throws us again. So guess what the objective is now? That's right, escape Nemesis again. So we end up escaping him, but he's obsessed with us a la Mariah Carey, and then for some reason in parentheses I put, play song you bitch. Like, okay, pass me, relax.
Why you so obsessed with me?
And he pulls down the walkway we are on. We manage to hang onto the edge, and guess which Spider-Man villain is here to say hi? Nikolai grabs the vaccine and wants those dollar bills.
Hello, I like money.
So he says that either he's keeping the vaccine and selling it to the highest bidder, or Jill fights Nemesis, and if we give him a good enough show, he'll sell the footage as combat training and give us the vaccine. But something tells me he doesn't really want the combat footage, even though we completely slapped Nemesis so hard I swear I started seeing him turn human just so we would have mercy on his no lip can't blow on hot foods have an ass. We turn Nemesis into a soup and we go after Nikolai. We end up finding him and he tells us to drop our gun, and Jill actually looks like she's entertaining the idea. Then Nemesis breaks through again.
Oh yeah.
And he introduces himself as a giant turd. Batman gets away and Carlos is like, oh my god, are you okay? And we're like, yeah, go get Nikolai, leave this monster to me. Carlos is all like,
oh, say less.
as if Jill is used to fighting 6 sadistic demon spawn things like this. Like, oh yeah bro, this is like a regular Tuesday. Like bro, he fucking glows, we have no chance. We grab a big ass laser beam and Jill goes full Super Saiyan mode and is able to withstand enough pressure to break concrete, as if she's trying to launch the deadliest Kamehameha. Nemesis says, "Me no likey."
Cheese, me no likey.
So we shoot him a second time and he lays down. Then we test that gag reflex and Nemesis has 0 gag reflex. Someone signed this man to a porn contract. This time he swells up like Mrs. Puff and explodes, finally ending the longest single boss fight I've ever had to play against. We not so respectfully walk all over his insides and get to the top of the building. Carlos is looking pretty dead and Nikolai throws us the vaccine just to shoot it. He says his client ordered him to reduce Umbrella to rubble, but I mean he could have kept that vaccine and got paid by his client still, and then sold the vaccine in case it did spread so we can make more money. But anyways, Carlos wakes up in rage mode and then gets his ass completely handed to him.
Hey, pal. There's no reservations here. He's very strong. Frank. At least I have my dignity.
But he does end up getting Nikolai in a chokehold and tells Jill to shoot him, giving a real "I'm in love with you" moment. But what he doesn't realize is that I'm playing as Jill. So when he says to shoot, I'm like,
Oh, say less.
and I shoot this guy immediately. Unfortunately, he lives, and we decided what to do with Nikolai. Jill asks who he's working for, and sly-ass Nikolai is like, "Get me out of here, and I'll tell you everything." Jill respectfully denies that offer, and Nikolai freaks out, kinda like, "Well, if I die, then how will you ever know the truth?" And Jill hits him with the,
I don't mind a little detective work.
Jill and Carlos escape and watch the nuke hit,
And boom goes the dynamite.
Jill recaps all of her feelings and swears to end Umbrella. Then we cut to the vaccine case on a desk, then someone who's presumably Jill grabbing the case and walking off with it. And that is the end of the game. So once again, I wanted to thank you guys so much for watching another poorly explained video. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time.